Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is a video that I am super duper excited about. I'm using the, I don't really know how to say the name. Is it AMREZY? Is it AMREZY? I'm not sure. I used to think it was AMREZY until I realized that there was only one E. So I started saying AMREZY. But if you know like exactly how to say her name, can you let me know if it's pronounced as if it has two E's or one? Thank you. By the way, don't mind the mess behind me. It's just, I'm not cleaning up. It's just not gonna happen. It's late at night and I just don't feel like it, so I'm sorry. So these are all the colors in the palette. There are these really warm, beautiful colors. These are all mattes down here. Two highlight shades. One is more, I mean this one is definitely has a shimmer in it, but it's more matte than this one up here. And the top row is all shimmer, so it definitely has a good mix of both. It has such beautiful warm colors, a whole bunch of mattes and a whole bunch of shimmers, and they're just perfect. They're amazing in every way. I have to say that this purple color I probably would not be sad if it wasn't in the palette. It's just not my thing. I personally don't like colors like that on me, but I do want to try and use it and kind of venture out because I like those really warm neutral colors. Also, if you're wondering what else I'm wearing on my face or my lips or jewelry, shirt, anything like that, please look at the down bar and all of that information will be in there. So make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos if you're not subscribed already, so you know when I put up new videos and you don't miss a thing. I will see you guys all soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye! Okay, so I'm first going to use my MAC paint pots. I'm mixing soft ochre and painterly, and as usual I'm just taking that with my finger, and I like to just carelessly go over the lid all the way up to the brow bone. Since we're going to be putting shadow on all those areas, we want to make sure we cover them with primer. And I'm telling you guys, if you have a problem with like choppiness in your eyeshadow, you really need these paint pots because they're godsend and they totally help with making sure that the shadows go on even and that there's no choppy lines involved. You can put this on with a brush, but I don't know, I just kind of find that it sinks into the skin and blends a lot better when I use my fingers. So for a transition color, I'm using Peach Smoothie, which is something that I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with by now, and I'm also using my Sigma Tapered Blending E40. And of course with the transition color, you don't have to be so precise. We kind of just put it in this general area using our windshield wiper motions. Little circular windshield wiper motions just to make sure that everything's blending well and that we're gonna have all our colors blend together. Now you can see that the transition color really doesn't make so much of a difference right now, but it really does make a difference in the whole end result. Okay, so now for another crease color, I'm using the color Caramel. Caramel from the palette, and I'm also taking my MAC 217 blending brush for that. A little bit of that on and dabbing off the excess just so we don't get too much fallout. And then we're just placing that in the crease area. We kind of want to stay a little more precise with this color. We don't want it as blended as the transition color. That's also why we're going to be using a smaller brush. The smaller your brush, the more precise the shadow is going to look. So we're just putting that in that area and just blending it. It doesn't need to be so much in the crease, but that's the general area that we would like it to be. So you just continue to blend that. And during this process, you can also take the larger blending brush that we used previously and kind of just blend the top of that, just so that those two colors kind of blend a little bit better. And then you can go back in and add a little more of the caramel. With the same 217, I'm going in with the color Morocco, which is just has a lot more red tone in that. So it's like a brick orangey red, I guess you could say. And I'm just taking the very tip of the brush and just gently dipping it in there. That way, when we go in for our crease, since we want this to be a little more precise, we just go directly in very lightly, barely touching and sweeping back and forth, since we want that more precise. Now, since this isn't a cut crease look, it doesn't have to be like specifically only in the crease, but as we know, we want it in that general area. So my advice always is build up your color. So I'm just dipping a little bit more in, tapping the excess off, and going back in. Now this color I'm gonna work into the outer corner of our lid. Just so that in the end it gives it more of a smoky look. Just added a little bit more. Now I'm taking a MAC pencil brush. This is the 219. Yeah, the 219 pencil brush from MAC. And I'm going in with Deep Plum, which is obviously a deep plum color. And we're just gonna be placing this more in the crease to deepen it up. Kind of dragging it in that V shape. And then blending that out with the 217. Right now I have no additional color on it, just what we had on previously. And the reason is because I just kind of want to blend out these lines that I made with the pencil brush before I go in with more color. So once I blend that out decently enough, I will then dip this 217 into Deep Plum and intensify the darkness of the outer corner. In that same area, just using a bigger brush to make it a little more smoky and dark. It's much easier to blend with the big brushes. I've said it before, with the pencil brush or a really small blending brush, that's better for placement. But when it comes to blending, I recommend a bigger brush. Because when you use a smaller brush, it kind of just goes in that one general area, and then that's when it can look really choppy, and none of us want that. I'm taking a little more of Morocco and the same 217 brush that we've been using and just going right above the Deep Plum. That makes it a little bit easier to blend. And now to blend that color even more, I'm taking the Smashbox blending brush and the caramel color and blending those colors. And that's pretty much the end of like deepening everything. We're gonna deepen it a little bit more when we put the liner on. That's what I usually prefer to do. So before we go back and blend all of that to perfection, I'm going to add Glisten, which is a beautiful peachy champagne color, and that's gonna be going right all over our lid. So I'm using the large shader E60 from Sigma, and I'm really packing that on. I think this is my favorite color in the whole palette. I'm not usually a fan of shimmery colors. I'm more of an all matte person, but this color is so beautiful. Taking my Smashbox brush and just blending out that. Now I'm taking a little bit of this new NYX Baked eyeshadow. This is in the color Ambrosia, and this is very similar to the palette color that we just used. I'll swatch them next to each other. They're almost identical. This is Ambrosia and this is Glisten from the palette. And Glisten just has a little bit more of that peachy tone to it, and Ambrosia definitely has more of a gold. So what I'm gonna do is just take a little bit of the NYX color, and with my finger, those lines. So you definitely don't have to do winged liner for this, but I feel like winged liner, for me at least, just completely turns the look around and changes it 100%. So I'm just gonna quick add that on and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that the liner is on, I'm going back in with my pencil brush and the color Deep Plum to deepen that outer corner, like this outer V area. I'm very gently placing that right where the crease and the liner meet. And it's okay that it looks choppy like that because we're just going right into the MAC 217 with no additional product and blending that out. Now, as you can see, I'm not lifting up my brush. I'm staying in this area and just moving back and forth. The reason I'm just staying like this is because once you actually start to move the brush around, that's when it distributes the product, and this color we just want in this area here. So now I'm taking Deep Plum on this brush, but I just did it on the outer top of it. And I'm holding it on a slant and building that color up. And don't worry about getting the color on the liner because we're just gonna go over the liner in a little bit. Mixing Morocco and Caramel. And just blending that right on top of those colors to just enhance the gradient that we already created earlier. Okay, now I'm taking the color Vanilla and I'm using that as a highlight on the brow. And I'm actually going to take my MAC 242 shader brush and a little bit of Fix Plus, spraying that and using the color Glisten. It's already obviously very pigmented, but I just wanted to have a little more of like that metallic-y look, and that gives it just a little something extra. I'm just blending that. I'm taking the NYX Baked Shadow with the same blend, shader brush and putting that in the inner corner. I'm lining my upper waterline with this black pencil from Rimmel. This is a soft coal. "43 lashes. Putting those on top. Okay, while my lash is drying, I'm going to be using my favorite liner. This is the Rimmel Scandalize eyeshadow stick in the color Bad Girl Bronze. And I'm just going to be using that in my waterline. You could use a plain black if you want, or even a darker brown. But I just prefer this because it's not as harsh, especially for the fall time. I loved it in the summertime, but it's definitely going to be a hit in the fall too. So first I'm taking Caramel again with a smaller blending brush and putting that on the lower lash line. I'm just blending that on the bottom. Now I'm taking Morocco, putting that in the same area. Really want to smoke out that lower lash line. Now with a very thin, flat brush, I'm taking Deep Plum and just kind of pushing that into the lash line. I'm just adding some mascara to the false lashes as well as my lower lashes. And this is the finished look. So I think it's really nice dramatic look for fall. And yeah, I just absolutely love the way it came out.